You know, this is probably the last Golf R before performance goes fully electric. I know if I had the money, I would buy it. Now, the Volkswagen Golf is a model that's well loved over 8 generations. And for those that wanted more performance, there is of course the GTI. But what if you wanted even more? Well, how about the most powerful series production Golf ever made, the brand new Golf R? Now, before we begin, today's episode is made possible by Castrol.
Advances in engine technology have led to increased power and efficiency, meaning engines work harder and under higher pressures than ever before. Never before has engine oil played such a key role to deliver performance. The challenge is to maintain the high performance levels expected by drivers whilst engine technology adapts to meet the demanding legislative limits. Castrol Edge is an advanced full synthetic motor oil that is stronger under pressure. It unlocks your engine's performance and efficiency to deliver more power with the same fuel. Castrol lets you unlock more performance.
To find out more about Castrol Edge engine oils, click on the link below. Now, back to the review. Now, this is the performance pack variant, so you get all the good stuff on top of all the standard stuff. With the standard stuff, you know, LED, full LEDs all throughout, we have this light bar that cuts across the front, and of course you have your blue detailing, which is standard for Golf R. It's worth pointing out that the R logo has been redesigned. And of course you also have a Golf R specific front bumper. Now if we slide on over to the side, you get massive blue brake calipers because it's a Golf R. Good stuff is at the back. Now, at the back, you of course get standard LED IQ lights. But with this performance pack, you get 2 additional things, right? So you have this rear wing in this sporty design, but perhaps most importantly, you have quad tailpipes as per any other Golf R, but this one is an Akrapovic exhaust system with titanium mufflers. So they look really menacing, look really cool, but they also sound really good. Now let's open up this boot, manual tailgate because weight savings. That's a standard Golf boot. 381 litres will fit the big. Luggage will not pass the anti-tri-length test. Standard Golf. Now let's go jump inside the car. Now here in the rear of the car, it's a standard Golf cabin, right? So headroom is alright, legroom is okay, not particularly great, but you know, this is just a Golf size car because it is a Golf. We have some of these pockets here to put your phone, and you know, in terms of amenities, we have temperature controls, no fan control, and we have 2 USB-C ports. This being a Golf R though, blue is the name of the game, right? So you can have plenty of blue detailing all around. So here, some of the piping, even the stitching on the carpets are blue as well. Now if I slide on over to the middle, and this is going to be a little bit tricky. Now, middle seat, it's space-wise okay, you know, there's a little bit of a bump here, but nothing worth really complaining about. However, there is a very significant transmission tunnel hump because, you know, this is an all-wheel drive car and there's no realistic way to tuck your feet in, so you're going to put them on the side. Will this car comfortably take 3 adults on long journeys? Probably not, it's going to be a bit of a squeeze, but you know, that's true for any Golf, right? Other than that, space-wise, this is just a fairly standard Golf. Now let's go jump into the front. Now here in the front of the Golf R, it's again a fairly standard, you know, high-spec Golf interior, right? So you have your twin 10-inch displays. The displays are nice and crisp, you know, I think they're easy enough to navigate. You know, you have a lot of built-in functionality, you have navigation, you have wireless CarPlay as well as Android Auto. So that's really nice. And then on the sort of driver display, you have a bunch of view modes. I particularly like the one with the central dial. You know, beyond that, it's a fairly standard Golf interior, but it also means that it comes with some standard Golf interior sort of quibbles, right? So I don't like the steering wheel controls, the touch capacitive controls, whatever they're called. They're not very intuitive to use and they still annoy me, right? Because it's one of those things where, because these are touch control, you might be adjusting something and then accidentally bump your aircon up to 28. But other than that, you know, we have 2 USB-C ports here, wireless charging pad, you know, same center console as you expect on any other high-spec Golf. Now, specific to the R, you have this, an R button. So what this does is that it very quickly accesses your race mode, right? So that's for you to very quickly get on the performance of this car. And of course, there are a bunch of drive modes that's specific to this car, right? So we have Comfort, Sport, Normal, we have Race, but under your Race, there are actually 2 additional modes. So there's Drift mode, which you cannot use on public roads, as well as a special Nürburgring mode. Talk about that a little bit later. And of course, you also have Individual. So with that, you can adjust all your individual settings, right? So you have absolute control over your DCC settings. So these are your damper settings, anywhere from more comfortable than comfortable and more racy than race. And then we have, steering, controls, drive, and engine sound. But all things considered, this is a fairly standard Golf interior. For this Golf R, what really matters is how this performs on the road. So let's go drive this car.
The Volkswagen Golf R is priced at $380,000. The 2-litre engine produces 315 brake horsepower and 420 Nm of torque. The 7-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 4.7 seconds. The Golf R has a claim fuel consumption of 8.4 km per litre. For more details on the Volkswagen Golf R or any other car, head on to Sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car.
Power comes from a familiar EA888 turbocharged 2-litre engine, here producing 315 brake horsepower and 430 Nm of torque, and all that power is sent to all 4 wheels via a 7-speed DSG. So how does it feel? It's obviously very quick, right? So you get the engine on boost and it's a quick car as you would expect from a full-blown hot hatch. Dynamically, it's nice and sharp, it's perhaps not the most exciting hot hatch you'll drive ever, but I actually like how it feels. The steering is a little bit on the lighter side, which I actually appreciate, and the car feels nimble, it feels quick, it feels accurate, and it's a proper performance car. Now, this car also has torque vectoring, so the car can variably distribute torque to all the 4 different wheels, and you can actually see that happening on one of the displays on the screen here. Does it work? I mean, yes, it works, right? So, when you're attacking corners hard, you can actually feel the car sort of helping you to really attack those corners, and it's one of those things that obviously on a day-to-day basis, you're not really going to be using it very much, but it's good to know that it's there, and I can tell you it works, it really does work. Now, this car with the performance pack also gets that Acura exhaust, and that means that it makes all the right noises. So if you put it in the right settings, get it down a couple of gears, and sounds great. It's fun that way, it's not super serious, and I kind of like that about this car. So let's talk a little bit about drive mode. So there are a couple here: Comfort, Sport, Race, and that gives you an additional 2 special modes, right? So the first that maybe most people will be a little bit obsessed about is Drift mode, but I'm legally obliged to say that I did not turn on Drift mode on public roads. But honestly, Drift mode is kind of a little bit pointless, I feel. The real one that you really need to get stuck in with is the special mode, otherwise known as the Nürburgring mode, and it really is a Nürburgring mode. It actually says Nürburgring on the screen right here, and that's actually the mode that I really like the most, and I think it's also the mode that is most suited to this car, right? So essentially what that mode does is it turns everything up to 10, 11, right? Maximum spoilers, but your DCC settings are on the comfort side. So the idea, of course, is that the Nürburgring is unlike most racetracks. There are a lot of bumps, a lot of sharp turns, and it optimizes the car for that. And I actually think that's where the Golf R is most in its element, right? It's about tackling B roads quickly, it's about feeling the road. So, you get all that sharpness in terms of your throttle response, your engine response, but the ride is still fairly supple, and you can feel the road, you can feel the car flowing with the road, and I really think that's how this car is best set up, right? So it's not overly crashy on imperfections on the road, and it's really quite fun. I'm enjoying driving this car in this little Nürburgring special mode. And so yes, in terms of this car being a performance car, I have no doubt about its credentials, right? It feels like it would tackle B roads. If you want to go B road bombing in Malaysia, for example, it's going to be very, very capable. But it's also good at doing the highway stuff. It has that roundedness about its performance. But that being said, with a car like this Golf R, it's not just about driving like a hooligan, right? It's also about all the boring things. So if I just put the car in comfort, it's quiet, it's sensible, it's quick enough, but not overly sharp and scary. And you can just do all your sensible, normal driving, right? So I'm now doing 90 on the highway. It's quiet, it's smooth. It's a little bit of road noise, but not unbearable. And you know, it feels just like a Golf, which is kind of what you want it to do. So I think, you know, when you're on it, it feels alive, it feels alert, it feels intense. But when you're not, it feels like a comfortable, sensible car. So there is no trade-off in terms of practicality and functionality. So the new Volkswagen Golf R, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? This is a will buy, and I will have to admit that verdict even surprises me. So, should you reasonably pay $367,000 for a Golf R? I don't know. That's a lot of money for a very fast Golf, and that's like, what, 90 grand more than a GTI. But it's also worth considering that, you know, with your other hot hatches in this segment, they are asking for over $300,000, so that's kind of the money you're looking at, right? Perhaps what's more important is to consider the fact that this is probably the last Golf R before performance goes fully electric. If you wanted a full-fat, petrol-powered Golf, this is it. This is probably the last one, and that really counts for something. So that's our review of the new Volkswagen Golf R. Do remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and of course hit the notification bell so you will be alerted of all our upcoming videos. And of course you can also check us out on TikTok at Sgcarmart. So yes, that's all I have. I'll see you soon. Bye! Let's open up the boot. It's a manual tailgate because weight savings.
Hello there.
Now, they look good, they look menacing, but they sound great as well. Now, let's open up the boot. Whoa, almost fell down.